Hey there, YouTubers. It's Michael here. I'm doing a continuation on rare PS2 games. I know it's been a week or two since I said I was going to do this video. I've been a little sick, so I haven't been able to. But I'm going to get right into it. This will be a multi-parter since I have so many games. First game I will show is called Ace Combat Zero. I do believe this is a rare game. The Ace Combat series, I believe there was like 3 or 4 of them for the PS2, and they're pretty, this is the rarest of the ones, but they didn't sell very well, making them a little rare. Next game I'm going to show is called Armored Core Nexus. Again, I believe there are actually about 7 of the Armored Core games made. Nexus is the rarest of them. It's the only, I think there's 2 games on it. There's like Revolution and Evolution or something like that. And I actually don't know if they're separate games or not, but that's a rare find to get. Next game I'll show is called Arcana Heart. It's a fighting game made by Atlas. It kind of reminds me of the Guilty Gear games and the style. And it's an all-female cast, which is kind of strange. But Atlas is always known for lower print runs and stuff. But if you could pick that one up, that's a good one to add. Next one is actually, I'll show a trilogy. The Ulterior Iris series. There are 3 of them: Eternal Mana, The Azoth of Destiny, and Grand Phantasm. I do believe the 3rd one is the rarest. All 3 of them aren't as easy to find. I do believe they're, NIS games. NIS does low print runs as well. But yeah, that's the Ulterior Iris series. Next game I'm showing is called Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. And I really like the Dark Alliance games, the Baldur's Gate games. They remind me of a Diablo type game. I'm not sure, but actually I think Baldur's Gate might have come out first before Diablo. But it's actually a pretty fun game. This used to be about $40 or $50 like 6-7 years back. I do believe it's gone down in price, but it's a fun game to pick up. And it's rare, so it's a good one to add to a collection. Next one I'll show is called Blood Will Tell. Actually, I see a lot of videos on this game. It's a pretty fun game. You've lost body parts to demons. It's an action, like hack and slash game, sort of like Dynasty Warriors or something. But it's a fun game. It's cool. It's not the easiest to find. I've only seen a handful of these in the wild, so if you could pick that one up for a reasonable price, I would. The next game I'm showing is called Bloody Roar 4, made by Hudson. Hudson is one of the oldest developers around. This is a 3D fighting game, kind of like Tekken. I don't believe Hudson published the other Bloody Roar games, but there's 2 of them for the PS2, Bloody Roar 3, Bloody Roar 4, or Bloody Roar 4, and the 4th one is the rarest. Next one I will show, back when I picked this up, this was not a particularly expensive game. I just looked this up recently, and it has increased in value quite a bit. I think it's about $30-35 complete. It's called Bungeon Guy, The Forsaken City. It's again, it's like a hack and slash. Kind of reminds me of a Shinobi type game, but it's kind of a strange, unique game, kind of niche. I think that's why it didn't sell well. That and the name might have it wasn't a great selling name. So, but that one is I believe rare. I just wanted to point this one out. I'm not sure how rare it is, but it's got a lot of cool games on it, like Street Fighter, I believe Final Fight, a lot of the old school SNES Capcom games. Now they made a Volume 1 and Volume 2. The Volume 2 is more rare, but it's a cool compilation. I always liked Capcom games. So next game I'm going to show is I don't know how particularly rare this is. I know it's at least uncommon. I do own 2 copies complete. because this is one of my favorite fighting games of all time, and that's Capcom versus SNK 2. Man, there are a ton of fighters on this. I do believe there's like over 50 fighters from the Capcom and SNK series, and it's got a really cool version of Akuma called Shin Akuma. And he's super powered, but he can't take any hits. But that's a cool game to have. Next game I'm going to show is I believe a top-down shooter called Castle Shikigami 2. I do believe they made other iterations of this game, like Castle Shikigami 1, Shikigami 3, maybe for the 360, I believe. But it's a fun game. I don't think it's particularly expensive. I think you can get this for under 10, on maybe even under 5 complete. It's definitely a worthwhile pickup for that price. It's a very cool game if you like shooters like Gradius or R-Types or Ikaruga, stuff like that. Next games I'm going to show is called the Champions series. The Champions of Norrath. It's definitely not as rare as Champions Return to Arms. I own 2 copies of Champions Return to Arms. You can play this online. I don't know if the online service works for the PS2 anymore, but you have to have a fat PS2 and an Ethernet hub, which is that right there. But this is again it's like kind of a Diablo clone. This is cheaper than Baldur's Gate 2. It's a fun game. I think you can pick it up for under 30 bucks. The next game is a survival horror game called Clock Tower 2. Clock Tower 1 and 2 came out for the PS1. This is a survival horror, like I said. It kind of reminded me of a little bit of Silent Hill-ish. Again, this isn't particularly expensive. It's not as rare as some of the other games I've shown, but it's a worthwhile pickup. It's a fun game too. Not only do I collect rare games, I try to collect fun games too. That's kind of in my repertoire to collect games. The next game I will show is called Coliseum Road to Freedom, made by Koei before they merged with Tecmo. It is a gladiator simulator type game. It's not. I didn't find it particularly fun. I didn't think it was terrible. It's just kind of an average game. This used to sell for about 20 bucks. I don't think it is anymore though. Next game I will show is called Cul-de-Sac. They made a Cul-de-Sac Saga for the Xbox 360, made by NEC, which they actually made a old game console called the NEC TurboGrafx 16 and TurboGrafx Turbo, Duo Turbo. This is a card-based role-playing game. It's kind of weird. I didn't find it fun. It wasn't terrible. Maybe kind of reminded me of the Summoner or Bait and Kados for GameCube a little bit, with a little more like board and card-based action. The next game I will show is a series. Someone requested me to show these games. It's called Dark Cloud. They did sell Greatest Hits version. I do have the Greatest Hits version disc in a black label case. So there are 2 versions of this. The black label obviously is probably more sought after. I didn't like Dark Cloud 1 as much as Dark Cloud 2. It was made by Sony Computer Entertainment, but it was a Dark Cloud 2 was definitely a very cool game. Action RPG-ish. Remind me of Kingdom Hearts. It's got some other aspects in the game, which is really cool. This, I believe now is about $35 complete. I used to pick them up for about 12 to 20. But it's a very cool game. One of my actually favorite RPGs for the PS2. If you can pick this up, I would highly recommend it, especially for a reasonable price. The next game I'm going to show is called Disaster Report. It is an Age Tech game. It's a disaster simulator. An earthquake happened, you're like a news reporter or something, and you have to find like water and like rope and things to help you survive post-earthquake. Made by Age Tech. I will say the graphics aren't the greatest in this game, and but despite that, I don't think graphics are everything. The gameplay isn't bad. I actually thought this game was kind of fun for what it was. I actually had a hard time finding this game. This is the only complete copy I really found. I found others with like the case or disc only, but I didn't find this game around too often. So, and this isn't particularly expensive. I believe you can get one for like 10 or 15 bucks. GameStop used to sell it for $3.99 or $2.99, something like that. So that's when I picked it up. I am going to do videos on each row, so I guess this is going to be one part of 5 or 6, because that last row isn't completely full. I just did want to make a quick note. When you are collecting, do your research. When I was collecting, smartphones weren't around, internet on the phone wasn't a thing, so I made lists, and I wrote down all the games I was looking for, and how much they went for online, loose and complete, if you're collecting for cartridge. But do your research. You know, make sure. I mean, unless it's factory sealed, you know everything's in it. But like, you know, with a game like Growlancer Generations, there's a ton of shit in here that you can miss out on. Like, there's a soundtrack, deck of cards, a necklace, a watch, an art book. And I've seen people say this is complete and they're missing like the soundtrack or something. Just do a little research and make sure you're getting everything you want to, because the last thing you want to do is buy a game without everything in it, and you find out later, oh, I'm missing a piece, and you try to go out and find that piece, or you have to buy another complete copy and try to sell the incomplete copy. It's a pain in the butt. So just do your research. Make sure, because a lot of the listings I see on internet sites say complete, and when they say complete, all they really mean is like case, art insert, manual, and game. And to me, it's kind of a little extra perk if it's a PlayStation 2 brand case with the memory card holder. They did make the later editions of the PS2 games didn't have the memory card holder, and they were a little less thick and plastic. I don't like those as much. But yeah, just do your research and have fun collecting. Don't get mad if you can't find games. I found that they come in spurts. And one day I'd find $500 in video games that I want, and another day I couldn't find any at the flea market. So just be patient and be acknowledged. But this is part 1 of of my PS2 games, of rare PS2 games, and I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks.